Okay. Nico's dead. Two-person panel,
All
I
right,
guess.
fine by me. Here we go.
Fine. All right. So, hi guys. Welcome back to another reaction right here on Dedicated to Art to the Schmoedown.
Nope, I'm alive.
Damn it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he recovered. I don't know what just happened, but something happened. But we're here for a Schmoedown reaction today. I am, as usual, your host, Case Fernandez, joined by the usual Chris Delman and Nico Rigoli. Apparently, who might or might not be dead. I'm not sure. And we have quite the match up today between the outlaw John Rocha and the android Marc Andreyko, who will actually determine the last spot of the number one contender match coming up, where we already have confirmed the Beast, William Bibiani, and Ethan Irwin, and the third person will come out of this match to, they will duke it out in that match and then face Dan Murrow. So there are a lot of things on the line in this match, a lot of storylines potentially. Strangely enough, though, Rocha and Andreyko, I think, have never really faced each other.
Nope.
Free for all. Free for all.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Of course, they were part of
XX5XX.
the notorious XX5XX, but not in a singles or team match, I think. So that'll be a first, and it'll be kind of crazy that they haven't faced each other. But today it'll happen, and I for sure cannot wait for this to happen. Nico, you're wearing a hat. Are you supporting Rocha with this one?
I am. Horseman! Not very often have I give the Horsemen a lot of love on the show, but I do appreciate them. I do like them. It's just they've happened to play guys who I liked a little bit more at the time. Marc Andreyko, I like him a lot, but I feel like this is a determined John Rocha, and a determined John Rocha is a scary one. That's someone who's been hitting the books or movies, in this case, nonstop, who's been doing his research, who is sitting in an Indian-style position, just gathering his thoughts in the corner behind that curtain before his entrance music hits. This is the type of John Rocha that we're going to see tonight that's championship worthy. And I feel like Marc Andreyko, he knows the knowledge, but I feel like just something's going to cost him the victory yet again. Will it be Ready to Rumble, or will it be something else? We will find out.
Well, we've seen that Andreyko can actually stump some of the best competitors. And Rocha, he has had a little bit of bad luck in his most recent singles match. So, Chris, I know you're a Horseman supporter. What are your thoughts on this one?
I was about to say, Nico, that wasn't bad, but let me show you how it's really done. Horseman!
I apologize for your eardrums.
I do not.
I'm trying to be courteous to my neighbors by not screaming at the top of my lungs.
You know what? Screw them. What do the neighbors matter? Because look, yes, out of all the competitors, John of all time in the Schmoedown, John Rocha has never been my favorite, but he is my favorite as of late, because out of all the active players, he's my favorite. So of course I'm gonna throw in my support behind the Outlaw. Hell, I would even have the gonads to say that, much like Darina is to Josh, he is an acquaintance of mine. And I'm very happy to have said acquaintanceship with John. So, of course, I'm going to support him in this match. But granted, Marc, who I've also had the pleasure of meeting a couple times, he is phenomenal. He is such a great competitor. He has a lot of knowledge in a lot of places that people don't normally expect somebody like him to actually know about. But, as you already said, a determined Rocha is a scary Rocha. And that's the Rocha we're going to get today, come hell or high water. Which is a great movie.
That is a great movie, and he actually appears in it. But I am very curious if we indeed get the Rocha that you guys are hyping up. I hope we do, because otherwise this match will be over quite quickly, I think. I'm really not sure what to think, because it honestly just depends on what kind of mindset Rocha is in. He has been in a mindset where he is determined, focused. He knows his stuff. He knows that he can beat the guy he's facing. And he's also been in the mindset throughout matches where either this happens before the match, during the match, he just loses something. and he doesn't really recover from it. Like in his most recent singles match where he lost the title to Irwin by TKO, no less. So that just shows it really depends on what mindset Rocha is in. And Draco is good overall, but he has also been known to sometimes have a bad match.
Stumble.
But yeah, he is the only one who's actually defeated Ethan Irwin, besides, of course, Dan Murrow. But yeah, that was a big thing last year. So Andreyko is a guy who can sometimes beat those big players. I don't know what will happen today. I just know that I'm getting a great match. I can't wait for it. So we're just going to press play on this thing right now in 3, 2, 1, play.
What movie does Holborn die?
Oh.
Ooh.
Two Towers.
Jay Washington
Build a pony, a company,
doing some studying.
and the rest of the fellowship from Big Bad Jay Washington. Don't mind if I do. What is this,
Oh.
Kaiser.
pal? What is this?
Kaiser.
But you need more than a steno pad to beat the Smasher. You know that, right? I got news for you. You're a big deal, and everybody loves you, but we're the future, and get used to it. So I appreciate you giving us a match. I appreciate you letting us come into your world, but just know this, it's our time, pal. So if there's anything you got to say about that, I'd love to hear what you got to say.
Oh boy.
Pick
Jay's
up
about to
my
lay it
goddamn
down.
notebook. Easy, man. It's just trivia. Take it easy, okay? And speaking of trivia, might I introduce to you the Smasher? Oh, yeah. You hear that noise in your head, Jay? That's the inner voices in your head saying, my inner geekdom career is over. Let's go, Smasher.
I love this so much.
Anybody in
This is-
league. All right, the Last Jedi. Ninka.
Yes.
Shots
Ouch.
fired.
Fired. Woo.
Unlike the ones that I received just a few moments ago.
Ah. The joke was bad, and you should feel bad.
Yeah, Zoidberg.
Welcome to the movie Trivia Schmoedown. What a match we have here. This could headline a pay-per-view. Oh my goodness. I'm Christian Harloff, joined by the host of Inside Schmoedown, the pit boss, Ken Knapsack.
Hey, happy to be here. Happy to be here. You know what, there, Chairman? Sometimes you make mistakes.
Also
at
soon
the
to be
top. Sometimes
published
you get things
author.
right, and I think this match today
Ken.
Yep.
Ooh.
is a great match between
How about
two
that?
competitors. Good
Sign
job,
me up for the
good
pre-order
job.
for that
Good
book.
job,
I'm
you.
so
Good
happy.
job,
I'm
you.
so happy that
I
you
probably
know,
will
you-
on
you
my next
like
paycheck.
what I'm talking about here, Ken. So look, this
Maybe
is
I'll
a,
even
this is
pick
a
up a
really
copy
big
for
match
Case.
because this is going to determine a lot.
It can be a
Thank
late. It
you.
can be
First
late
of all,
birthday
these are
gift
two
for you.
of the best players to ever play the game, and they've never faced each other in
My
singles
birthday
before.
was
They
over
faced
3
each other
months
in
ago.
singles
Hey, I
back
said
in
late
the
birthday gift.
2017 tournament with John Rocha getting the W. With
Oh,
the,
these guys
now defunct top
Have
10
faced each other
team.
in teams.
Oh, that's
Blofeld's
right.
cat.
Oh, yeah, in
Mark-
teams.
But Marc
Yes.
Andreyko
My bad. I
had a
forgot
hell
about
of a
that
year
one.
last year. He challenged for the title last year.
Everyone
John
forgot
Rocha
about
challenged for the
Blofeld's
title
cat.
last year and won it.
Yeah, because
although he
it
hasn't
happened
performed
once and
since
it
his loss to
wasn't
Ethan
that
Irwin.
good.
It was
at
two
Schmoedown
matches,
Spectacular.
and granted, they put up a good
The
fight in the
winner
second match, but
of this match here today will not
And then they
have an
almost
easy road
lost to
get
Rachel
that
Cushing
title. They
solo.
will be put into a triple threat match
This is
with
true.
Ethan Irwin
Yikes.
and William the Beast Bibiani.
Wow, that is an epic matchup, and you know Dan is.
So
sitting
who am I
up there
going
with
to
that
in a
belt,
match
and
against?
He looks out in this field of contenders
Irwin.
and competitors.
Oh,
and I don't think Dan ever gets scared or worried, but he has to look at what's coming for him and feel like he's got to get ready for a big time match because these two guys
A
bring
big
a lot of
time
knowledge and a
match,
lot of
yes.
passion and competitive spirit.
Well, it's funny.
Ken,
Shin
we get it.
actually saw the champion at a screening, and I told him this was what was going down. I said there was going to be that they were going to fight it out.
Trust
and
me,
put
I
through the
think my
grinder, and he
bleeding
said,
chin is
"Good,
making
let him earn
funnier
it."
remarks
You know,
at the
because
moment.
that's the kind of competitor that Dan is. He said he wants them because whoever comes out of that will have earned it. Even if it means it's part of his team, his teammate and stablemate, the Outlaw.
Rocha
Champion.
Merle
And it's funny
3,
because the
please.
champion will be walking out with John Rocha today, but they have a mutual respect. They want to face each other, but that's not a sure thing. Marc Andreyko, he is the android. He
Technically,
is one of the
it's
best players that
two
we have
because
seen
their
in this
second
league.
match was a
And
triple
it's
threat.
reason why that he is
Still.
going to Chicago.
They
in
still
a number
faced
one
off, and
contender
still it
match
was essentially between
against
Rocha and
Bruce
Merle in
Boss
that match
in the
because
live
Riley
event at
didn't show
schmoedownlive.com
up.
in Chicago. So I'm ready to get going. You ready to hear what these guys have to say?
I'm absolutely ready to hear.
All right, here we go.
Oh,
Let's
this
hear
is
it.
going to be great.
It's gonna be something.
Is Mark gonna have Roxy doing some of the talking for him?
Hopefully.
Ooh, I like this music.
2019, the Outlaw is back in the singles division. Got a new hat, new
Yeah.
attitude, new mission. My fellow horseman, Dan Murrell, we go way back. Rivals, now friends, but he's always been the example, the shining example of this league. And if there's anything I want to do is to match every one of his accomplishments in winning a belt a third time. We'll see what happens. You know, the Schmoedown fandom love Marc Andreyko for so
No. You should actually try and defend a belt one time, Rocha.
To never have a belt.
The greatest player to never win a belt, so that makes me very close to Peter O'Toole of the Schmoedown. You know, I would really like to win a singles title, but truth be told, I think I'm having more fun playing teams with Snyder because we were on the same faction, the Lions Den, before, and we are definitely have two different areas of strengths. And I think he's making me a little bit more aggressive, and I'm making him a little bit more likable. So it's, and Roxy, I would always want Emma to stay the manager, but if I had to get someone else, Roxy has been a phenomenal manager, and I think I can say this right now is going to be a contender for manager of the year at the end of this season.
You know, they call him an android because it feels like he's
on
not
what
even
she
human
does.
when he's in that ring.
John is a complicated competitor. He's super smart, but he's also super emotional. If he gets thrown, it tends to get to him. Whereas I've been learning to do slow and steady wins the race and trying to be calm and think through things.
One of the toughest competitors I've ever faced him in teams. Nost and I had to set the points record just to beat that team. They were that good.
And if
And then a match later it was taken by action.
So much
That points
that's
record.
like pulling a string on a sweater. He will just be a ball of yarn at the end of it. So.
And after I take care of the android, well.
Actually, no, it was above the line.
Then I
It
get
broke
to
the
go
points
to a
record.
three-way with.
That was
Why is
after
no
that.
one?
Bibiani with that.
Why is no one
website.
mentioning the free-for-all moment? Why is no one mentioning that in this promo?
And
They should be.
Ethan Irwin, the man
Well,
who
to
beat
be
me,
fair,
who took the
free-for-all
belt
is
from me,
vastly
the man who
different
made
than
people call
facing
me a
each other in the
transition
match.
champ now.
So,
But it's still a moment in Rocha's head that haunts him.
It's still the best moment ever.
Just to face the
Top
great,
three.
the greatest of all time, in my opinion, Dan Murrell. You know, he's not only just next to me as the founding father, he's not only just next to me on the Mount Rushmore of the Schmoedown, he's also someone I got to take down, and someone, if you look at the record, I've done really well against.
Mr. Rocha, I hope this is a fun match for the fans. I hope it's a high-scoring match because those are always the best ones. And I really hope I beat you. And I hope I beat you by stealing your Westerns questions.
Forget the house, because I never
He's been studying up.
9 lives, cat's
boy.
eyes, abusing every one of them, and running wild. And that's what I'm going to do in 2019. Running wild as the Outlaw. Going to bring the title back, put it back across my shoulder, and ride off into the sunset with it. That's how it goes. Android, you're just in the way. You're going down.
I was about to say,
today.
did Rocha just announce that this is his last year in singles accidentally?
Hope not.
Please
I
no.
don't. You might have just been a slip of the tongue.
Please
A lot
don't,
of respect
John.
there too, but they both had the same mission, and it's funny that Marc Andreyko said that because it's true. The fans have been saying that they have deemed Marc Andreyko. He is the best player who has never won a championship yet. He's
That is
so
true.
close. He's come so
That's very
close so
true.
many times. He's
Yeah.
right at the edge to
I
get
can
that
agree with
team
that.
title with Snyder. He's right at the edge to try
I can
to
also
get a
agree
shot
to that.
that singles belt. And then you got John Rocha. John Rocha, who has won the championship twice. He has won the team championship
just- 'cause I-
once. He has
I'm
also
trying
been
to think
playing
of
kind of catch up with
who
Dan
else
Murrell. You know,
could
Dan Murrell
qualify
had
for
won
that
the
statement,
championship
but-
twice, and then John won it
If
twice.
not
Dan
for
Murrell
her
just won it
team's
the third
title
time.
win,
Can John
Clark
do it
Wolf.
for a third time? So much,
But
so
she
Yeah,
much
has
to
but
happen.
she has the
and
team
this
title, and
match
she's
is the
defended
beginning.
that actually.
This is where
Yeah.
it begins. The road to championship gold is out in front of
I want to
both
see
these
her back in
competitors.
All
singles.
right, here
Please.
are notable accomplishments. Marc
Come back, Clark.
Andreyko
Come back to us,
was
please.
in a championship match and took Bibiani to the brink. Won the triple threat at the Collider Collision. Has been in multiple tournaments and done very well, and is a #1 contender
done
match
very
coming up
well.
here April 13th. The Outlaw John Rocha, a former team champion, a former, Ultimate Schmoedown finalist in 2016, and
Oh, yeah,
former
against Mark
two-time
Ellis.
Movie
3 years
Trivia
ago.
Schmoedown champion of the world. All right, Ken,
Damn.
with that,
I remember that
It's
tournament.
been that long.
I almost had a perfect bracket.
I'm exhausted.
I'm not. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's
Time
time
for the movie trivia.
Schmoedown!
You're right. You're right.
Introducing first, representing The Odd Couple.
I feel like I
with a
know this.
record of 6 wins, 5 defeats, and 1 knockout. He is the 2018 Ultimate Schmoedown Singles Semi-Finalist and the number 5 ranked contender,
Wow.
Marc the
I should know
Android
this song.
I also.
Andreyko.
He's
Buying selfies today. Did Roxy get what did Grace do?
Don't look at me.
What did Grace do?
Don't look at me. There's nothing. If Roxy can't get here, Roxy can't get
I
here.
know for a fact that Roxy was supposed to be here, and again, not here. Something is going on.
Your girlfriend, Cal.
Roxy and
That's what
Janice
they're
no
saying.
show.
It's, flighty help is flighty
You
help.
did not
Rox.
make any
Sorry.
accusations.
I categorically deny anything and everything.
All right.
You were on the
And
desk
his
last week.
opponent.
This song.
The 5 horsemen, led to the ring by the movie trivia Schmoedown champion of the world, Dan Murrow,
Oh.
with a record of 11 wins, 7 defeats, and 3 knockouts.
11 wins,
He is the
7
former
defeats.
movie trivia
Wow.
Schmoedown team champion and the former 2-time movie trivia Schmoedown champion of the world, the Outlaw John
Now there's a man.
Is that a new cowboy hat?
It's a new hat.
It looks like something lemon.
Yep,
from
it's a new
Moto.
hat.
Old school shirt.
Old school shirt.
On his fine shape. Look at that.
And there he is with the champion. The champion there giving him
A hug.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
hug. It's a
But
warm
it's
and-
also
Oh,
it's
touching the back.
It's shaking hands.
You know what, here's
All right.
what it is. Here's what I love about the Android Andreyko. Look at him. He's calm. He's collected. He's got his Wonder Woman T-shirt on.
All right.
Valium.
Valium is the thing, but he is.
Let's
the
try
killer
to
in
keep
his
up
own
with the
right.
two-time
Yeah, a lot of
former
intensity.
champ.
You can feel it emanating
Well,
off
they
of him right
both
now.
want it here.
Chris,
and
if you
they both
don't
want
get a
it. The
perfect
question
fan, I'm
is,
gonna
who wants it
fucking
more?
kill you.
And we're about to find out. Round number 1, the competitors.
Round number
will
1
get
is gonna
8
go like
questions.
this.
8
Despite what
questions
Chris
worth
says, he's
1
still gonna
point
get a
apiece
perfect round.
from
Whatever
subjects all over the
division,
movie
whatever
universe.
it is,
And
he's still gonna
they
get a
cannot
fucking
steal,
perfect
obviously, in
round.
this one. They have 15
Meantime,
seconds to
Nico and I
answer the
are
question.
gonna
We have
try
3
and get
JTV
like
rules.
3.
We got 1 challenge, and
That's
that's
how
pretty
round
much-
1 works around
that's the
here.
gist. So
That's
I
the
will
gist.
ask first. The Outlaw, are you ready?
Absolutely.
And the
Chris,
Android,
am I
are you ready?
wrong?
Sure.
Then let's go to Schmoedown.
Angry Case is a funny case.
All right. Here we go, guys.
To finish.
Animated begins this. Animated.
All right.
The character Figaro is what type of animal in Disney's Pinocchio?
Well, it's one of my favorite Disney movies, so big shock. I
Sing
of course
that.
I know this.
Yeah, and I always think of Robin Williams.
I haven't seen this in forever.
5, 4. You heard that? 3, 2, 1. John Rocha.
Was that the whale?
Cat.
Yes, and the Android.
Ah,
there you go. 1,
damn it.
1.
Thought that was the whale.
Somebody heard that.
Oh no!
Feels like
Now,
chicken up
now I
here.
remember the name of the whale.
Question number
Monstro.
2 in the
Oh,
category
shit.
Damn it.
action
Oh, this, by
adventure,
the way.
action/adventure. In Skyfall, Naomi Harris plays Eve, who is revealed to be what famous character?
Yeah.
Interesting purpose.
Yeah,
Just kinda slipped out.
have you seen a doctor recently?
No, it just happened.
Okay.
5, 4. Doesn't really answer your
Obviously
question.
not my
3,
favorite interpretation of this
2,
character, but a
1.
good one.
Mark.
Miss Moneypenny.
John.
Oh, I just had
There you go.
M.
Again.
Correct game. 2-2.
No, that's well fine.
All right, guys, we're going to switch up here and go to Oscar movies. Oscar movies. Which movie got Clint Eastwood his first Oscar for Best Director?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
First.
duh. Both top 10 and critically acclaimed recently talked about this movie.
I hope I got the right one.
4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down.
Fucking
Forgiven?
Forgiven?
Yes. Mark.
Hey, good job, Case.
This is the match we thought it would be, Ken.
Yes. Number 4 comes in the category of horror thriller. Horror thriller. Who directed 1976 Stephen King classic Carrie?
Yes.
Who directed it?
When this director was casting the movie, he was casting alongside his friend George Lucas for a little film that came out the following year.
Oh, fuck.
I'm not sure.
Brian De Palma.
Yes, and
Brian De
Palma.
tie game.
With that hint, I was going to say Spielberg, but no.
What is the profession of Bruce Willis's character at
Oh.
the beginning of The Fifth Element?
They've asked this
The
question.
lunch I have, I didn't have the stomach problems I have now.
No?
No. Same you?
I'm going to end up going 0 for 8, aren't I?
Fuzzy water, whatever that means.
Not
5,
sure.
4, 3,
I don't fucking know.
Cab driver.
1. Pens down. John.
Taxi driver.
Yes. Mark.
Taxi driver.
And now it's 5 to 5.
Nice.
Yes, look at that.
Question number 6.
I like that
Question number 6 comes
really
in the
like that
category
movie,
of comedies. What two actresses star as sisters, throwing one last party before selling their family home in 2015?
Oh!
Sisters. Go back to 2015.
Damn, I don't know this.
5.
2015.
I actually do. I actually do.
3, 2, 1. Pens down. Mark
Tina
Andreyko.
Fey.
Amy Poehler, Tina Fey.
You got it.
Amy Poehler, Tina Fey.
Tie game.
Tied
Well
up.
done, Nico.
On the board. On the
All
board.
right, so now both players have not missed, and we get to question 7, coming of age. Coming of age. All right.
In the Sandlot.
Which DCEU actor plays a teen named Patrick in the film The Perks of Being a Wallflower?
All right, one of my favorite
Got it.
books. I actually read books.
Great
Yeah.
movie and book.
Not to be confused with Bridger.
5, 4, 3,
I see what you
2,
did there.
1. Pens down. And
Ezra
Ezra
Miller.
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller.
Yes. And
Yes.
so
Ezra Miller.
Ooh.
perfect game for both of them.
Oh.
Perfect round so
I
far.
was
So
like,
here we go. This is the last
Let's
one.
say,
All right,
let's say,
question
Casey,
rating,
you're actually doing,
Patreon
pretty
question,
well.
Patreon question. The following question comes to you
We're
from
changed.
patron Jake Hammer. Thank you,
Thank you,
Jake.
Jake. The hammer.
Laying down the hammer.
The category is dramas. Dramas. In 2015's The Martian, who stars as the young astrodynamicist? Wow. Rich Parnell, who formulates a plan to rescue Watney. Astrodynamicist. In 2015's The Martian, who stars as a young astrodynamicist?
I love this
Rich
movie.
Parnell, who formulates a plan to rescue Watney.
Should be, right?
Watney. I'm not one for science.
That's fine.
I don't know the words they use to describe
That's all right.
themselves.
Why is
And
this name
5,
coming to mind?
4,
I really hope this is
3,
right.
2, 1.
Donald
Pens
Glover.
down, please. Mark Andreyko.
No
I
idea.
had
And
Bill
John?
Hader for whatever
That's
reason.
correct.
Oh!
Yes!
Okay, that's down.
Perfect
And I got
round for John
5.
Rocha. So
I'm
only
proud of
he will have this bonus question here. Bonus question for John Rocha. If he gets it, then he will be up by 1 more. Excuse me. If he gets this, he'll be up by 2. He has a 1-point lead here. All right, John, this is only for you. You don't have to write it down. Your bonus. The original Taken film starring Liam Neeson was released in what year?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jeez, all right.
2008.
Yeah, oh wait.
I mean, well,
Movie release dates has to be the one.
that's what it is.
2008, Jesus.
2010.
Ah, come on.
2008.
but
was
still,
all right.
Ah.
8 to 7,
I got 6
and
out of
round
9.
number 2
I'm happy.
begins with the Outlaw having a 1-point lead in a great first round.
Yeah, great performance.
And we start out. Here's round number 2. Here's how it goes. The competitors will spin the wheel. If it lands on a category they do not like, they can spin again, unless, of course, it lands on opponent's choice. Each
8
one
to
is
7
worth
in the
2
first
points,
round.
unless, of course, they
Wow.
go to multiple choice. Then it goes down.
How
to
do you know why these
point
two
steal
are
in this round.
contender match?
And I believe that
Yes.
both competitors have all of their JTE rules left.
Yeah, well, first I want to remind everyone this day's Wheels match is sponsored by our Schmoedown patron, Jake Burnham.
Thank you, Jake.
Oh, another Jake.
A lot of
Wheels
Jakes.
slices for today's match are Tom Hanks, and get ready, crowd, Meryl Streep.
There it is.
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
For today's
help
match
us all.
was sponsored
When I
by
heard
one of
Tom
our
Hanks, I
patrons
was
on
like
Patreon.com
thanking my lucky stars it wasn't Tim Allen.
Wheel slice for today's
Oh, so
match.
because
he's in some
Action
trouble right
slash
now.
adventure.
Well, let's
We land
also
on
be
that, we
fair.
reveal
Tim Allen
who
has not
supported
been in
that
enough
slice.
movies
I love it.
to.
Okay, all right, John. So
have his
you
own
have 1 point
category.
lead. Would you
Yeah.
like to go first or second?
No, I would defer to my opponent.
All right, so
All right, it is a close game. It's almost just
here's the spin.
almost a tie.
You know that Andreyko's looking for musicals. You know he's looking for musicals.
Wheel of morality. Turn, turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we shall learn.
Streep. It might not even just be the question. It's just Meryl in general.
Oh,
Hey now,
it's
the
coming
Wheel of
around. Looks
Morality
nice. It
offers
looks
a
like
piece of
nice
education in
round.
what would otherwise be an entertaining
Robert,
show.
No, drama.
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 Ooh.
He is.
I wouldn't
debating.
if I was him.
He's
Big
debating.
category, but can also be something in his wheelhouse. So I can see the dilemma there for Andreyko.
We are going to need
It's
his
just a
decision.
very
He's gonna
broad
spin again.
category.
He's going to spin again.
Spinning away
All right.
He went away
Whoop.
from dramas. The crowd wants Meryl Streep again.
Crowd always wants Meryl Streep.
Well, yeah, of course.
Here we
Rocha's had 18 matches. I just looked at the record.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, look at this.
Oh,
It
boy.
could
Good
be-
God Almighty.
No.
It
It's Julia
might
Roberts.
be
Nice.
Julia Roberts?
Julia Roberts films. Sir,
Julia
would you
Roberts
like to
it
do
is.
the honors?
You got it?
Chance Ellison just shook for some reason.
Section in the crowd.
All right, 4 questions in the category of Julia Roberts films. Julia Roberts films.
I will not be stealing any of these, just to let you know.
All right.
That's
Remember your first choice.
Never say never.
First question. What song does Rupert Everett's character inspire an entire...
Say a little prayer.
right, that is 2.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
Well,
All right.
let's
I
all
would have
just
done
sit
that.
back. Let's all just sit back and watch this man work.
Job in Ocean's 11.
What's her job?
She's an
Multiple
art
choice.
curator.
A, decorator, interior designer. B, art curator. C, event coordinator. D, concierge.
Event coordinator?
Incorrect for 1 point steal.
Ooh.
Art curator.
That's correct for 1 point steal. Tie game. Tie game.
He did steal after all.
Ooh.
All right, Mark, third question. You get 4. Who directed 1999's Runaway Bride?
Gary Marshall.
That's correct for 2 points. All
It's a
right,
crappy
all
rom-com, and
right.
a chance star is
Final
Gary
question
Marshall.
in this round. In 2010's Valentine's Day, Julia Roberts spends a majority of the film on an airplane seated next to what actor?
Fuck if I know.
Antonio Banderas.
5.
Multiple choice.
A, Bradley Cooper. B, Patrick Dempsey. C, Jamie Foxx.
Oh, I'm wrong.
Why
Grace.
not?
Bradley Cooper?
That's correct for
1 point.
points.
All right.
All right, so Andreyko sees himself with a 3-point lead
Yeah.
as the outlaw hits the wheel.
We're
If the
far
outlaw
from
can
the
get something that he
shallow
likes, then he's got a
now.
good position to get himself a nice lead. However, if he doesn't, then he can put himself even farther behind the android. All right,
Yeah.
John, go ahead.
Former champ saunters up there.
Yeah. Well, he looks determined here. I
He
mean,
does. That's a good spin. I'd say the spin is in on that one for sure.
The fire is definitely in the outlaw's eyes right now. You see it. He's kind of cool, calm, and collected, but he's playing against an android that's pretty solid right now as well. Uh-oh, but look at this, though. I mean, this is moving around in a position that does not look pretty.
It
Oh,
does
oh,
look
oh,
pretty.
oh, no. Oh,
Musical? No, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that.
Musical.
because
Is he?
Draco.
Is he gonna, is
To
he
be
gonna
fair,
take-
Rocha
is he
ain't half bad at musicals.
singing in his
It's just-
brain?
He knows it in Draco.
Draco's calling him a
But I would never do
chicken.
musicals against Andreyko.
No.
We're gonna need an
No.
answer soon, though.
Gonna give you a 5 count here.
We're gonna.
Now musicals
5,
against Chance.
4,
Oh, I'll take that any day of the week.
3.
He's going
Roberts
again.
against Chance.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
he's gonna sit down there.
Now he's got to take what's coming down the pipeline.
Well, he's
here.
looking for sports. He's looking for biopics.
He's got that steal in that round. You know he's great with westerns.
He is. There's a lot on there that
No,
he,
is he
that is
great
good for
with
him,
westerns?
but he definitely
The
wants
guy
to
called
stay
the Outlaw
away
is great with
from
westerns.
here. So,
What?
yeah.
I just don't know,
Last
man.
time it's coming back
It
around.
is going to
Ridley
be
Scott?
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott, okay.
films.
Ridley Scott. All right. Ridley Scott.
All right.
this is up
That is
in
an
the air
interesting
here.
character because he has
All right,
quite a
we
lot
got
of films.
4 questions.
Yep.
Yeah, it
All
also
right.
has a lot of
I'm not going
stinkers.
with Ridley
Here we
Scott.
go.
That is
Ridley
true.
Scott.
There's a
Ridley
lot of
Scott.
great ones though.
All right.
There are.
What model
Rocha's
of
not
car
confident
do
right
Thelma
now.
and Louise drive around in the film Thelma and Louise?
Thunderbird.
Multiple choice, please.
A.
Ah,
Thunderbird.
wimp.
B. Mustang. C. Camaro. D. Corvette.
Thunderbird?
Correct for 1 point.
He does
Yep.
know.
All right.
Shut
Wait a
up.
minute.
It's a light
He's
blue
playing us.
Thunderbird, man. Come
Who
on.
plays Ramses in Exodus?
Joel Edgerton.
Gods and Kings.
Ow!
Most historically accurate
Ow!
film ever.
This hurts me.
That is not true.
The movie stinks.
Oh yes, it does.
5,
It stinks.
3.
Multiple choice.
A. Christian Bale. B.
In the
Eric
words of
Bana.
Jay Sherman,
C. Joel Edgerton.
it stinks.
D. Ben Mendelsohn
Yeah.
Joel Edgerton.
for 1 point.
Oh, you got it.
Okay, that's question number 2.
Hold on.
He's working his way through. He's working his way through.
Question 3. What Ridley Scott directed spy film stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Russell Crowe?
Body of Lies.
Multiple choice.
A. Body of Lies. B. Spy Game. C. Breach. D. Ronin.
Body of Lies.
Correct for
Correct.
1 point.
Got it.
All right, last question here, Joe.
Spy Game.
Last question. Which actress played Mission Commander Lewis of Mark Watney's team
Jessica
in The
Chastain.
Martian?
Jessica Chastain.
I
Everyone's
still love
favorite
this
redhead.
movie. Not mine, but sure.
5, 4.
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, that's the first one. Which actress played Mission Commander Lewis of Mark Watney's team in The Martian?
Jessica Chastain.
2 points.
Hey,
John
hold
hits
on.
it. And takes himself.
Got it.
Yeah, takes himself into the 3rd round now. Round
14
number
to
3.
12, still
Here
close.
we go. So it goes like this. The competitors will pick
I'm
3
scared to
numbers
know where this match
from
can go.
1 to 20. 3 numbers from
No, in my
1 to
luck.
20.
High
And the first one
scoring,
worth 2, the
I
second one
hope.
worth 3, the
Oh,
third
yes,
one worth
and-
5 points. All right, so because
Now,
John,
if
you have a
Rocha didn't have to
2-point
go
lead
multiple on those
here,
other questions,
please pick from 1 to 20.
he
May I
could
consult
potentially
with
go
my
up
teammates to pick the
to.
number out? Is that possible?
He's
that
not
He could
acting as
potentially
manager,
go
so
up
no.
to 25
Okay, no.
points.
Not filed the
but no,
paperwork.
no.
You might tie the
6 and
record.
18.
6,
You might tie the record.
8, and 18. Okay, and Andreyko?
I'm kind of trying to pay attention to what they're saying right
1, 2,
now.
3.
1, 2.
They're saying their numbers. Who
Look at
cares?
that. So we're going to start.
I like that.
We're going to start
You
with the
just
Android.
lost.
We're going to start with the Android who chose
Why? What he-
category.
He did
What-
three
what
numbers
numbers
in a
did-
row? 1, 2, 3.
Category 1.
Oh,
2000s. 2000s. All right. Mark, here you go. Who received an Academy Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role for his
Sean
performance
Penn.
in 2003's
Tim
crime
Robbins.
drama Mystic River?
Oh, Champagne won actor. That's right. I'm an idiot.
5.
Tim Robbins?
Correct. For 2 points.
Got it.
Now we bounce to John.
All right.
John chose category 6.
Although it's good you
Category
remember
6,
Sean Penn won
category
Best
6,
Actor, 'cause I actually forget that
category
a lot
Rocha
myself.
is Tom Hanks.
I won Best Actor for the same movie.
3-point question.
2-point question.
Excuse me.
2 point.
2-point question.
Yes.
Sorry.
Ken,
Make sure you read the 2-point.
2-point question.
Read the 5. Read the 5 point.
Corruption, I know.
Okay, all right. 2-point question. Tom Hanks starred alongside Halle Berry, Jim Broadbent, and Hugo Weaving in what film?
Cloud Atlas.
better question is, who gives a fuck?
Right?
5,
Because that movie's fine, but it's
3,
just,
2.
Repeat the question.
All right, your second one. Tom Hanks starred alongside Halle
Jesus,
Berry, Jim
Ken.
Broadbent, and Hugo
Words.
Weaving in what film?
that's what happens when you have the drunk movie fights champion reading the questions.
2 points.
Wow,
2
you got
points.
it.
Two
Got it.
points.
All right, now we bounce back to Andreyko. Now we bounce back to Andreyko, who chose category number 2. Mark will be happy with this one. You chose musicals.
Okay.
Musicals. All right, here you go. Who played Christine in 2004's The Phantom of the Opera?
Emmy
Emmy
Rossum.
Rossum.
3 points.
That's correct. 3 points. 3 points for Mark. There.
And now we bounce.
That's a 3?
Now we bounce to Rocha, who's got 8.
Number 8. You chose
I love
number
when
8. The number of the
Rocha
all-time greatest
overreacts to
catcher for the New York
things.
Mets, Gary Carter. Number 3. Category is
Come on,
classics.
cowboy, keep your head in the game.
Classics. What was Charlie Chaplin's first true talking picture?
There's 2 answers to this question.
Oh.
There's
Great
2
Dictator.
answers because Great
start
Dictator
for
was the
3
first time he
points.
spoke on film, but the limelight
He got
was
it.
the first.
We thought it
You
was.
got
He
it.
got, he got it.
Now Mark Andreyko has a chance.
I just for the hell of it, I would like to challenge that because he only speaks at the very end, and by saying true talkie, that's a full talking.
Then the
film.
answer is Limelight.
All right, we got
Either
a
way, I
challenge
know
on the
it.
table. We got a
That's fine.
challenge
Yeah.
on the table here.
Challenge on the table.
Okay, interesting.
Because I mean, I think I'd still give
All right,
it
we're
to
making
him.
a judgment on the call here, too. The wording of the question was a little wonky. It was supposed to be the first technical talking picture. John Rocha did answer both of what the technical term and what the obviously first true talking picture was. So because of it, we are going to award John Rocha the 3 points. And
Yeah.
we go back to
makes sense.
1917.
Fair enough.
That is a decision that we are
Yes.
confident we had the singles commissioner come in, too. So there's a lot of debate on that one. But 1917, and
Jacob
now
for
we
his
get to the
5-pointer.
5-pointer for Marc Andreyko. If he hits the 5-pointer, if he hits it, it will bounce back to John Rocha. If he misses, John Rocha will advance to the triple threat match against Ethan Irwin and Bibiani. So it's category number 3 is what Marc Andreyko chose. Here we go. Mark, for your 5-pointer, you told Martin Scorsese movies.
Okay.
Martin Scorsese
Okay.
movies. Here we go. Name 2 of the 3 actors that play Nicolas Cage's paramedic partners in Bringing Out the Dead?
No, damn.
What?
No clue.
Oh, damn.
What?
No answer?
Nope.
And your
Damn.
Wow.
Ladies and
You
gentlemen,
got it.
the outlaw, John
Damn.
No answer.
Rocha does it, and he makes it.
And Draco looked pissed.
He makes it to the match.
19, Mark unhappy. The end of the match walks off. Rocha kind of subdued there, but bringing out the dead, the final one there at the deciding round.
It was a great match. It was a great match, and because of it, John Rocha is going to that triple threat match now. Triple threat match between Ethan Irwin and Bibiani for that #1 contender match. It's going to be interesting.
3 former champions.
When the road to the gold, as we said, moves on for John Rocha.
2 very loud and boisterous. 1 very reserved, but has a loud man to do the talking for him.
The former champ as well.
All right, well, let's go to Jen Sturger, who is with both Marc Andreyko and John Rocha. Here we go.
I want to say, though, I am really proud of him and for how he played today. I mean, 2 really fierce competitors out there, and you just never know the way it's going to go. And I think a lot of times you get incredibly heated, and I'm going to work with Mark on figuring out ways to make sure that the rules are fair for everybody across the board and talk to Christian about it. And we definitely will be in Chicago.
I think that they cut out a lot of this interview where Andreyko was saying things and he walked off. And
I don't want to deal with another one of those after Chicago, so hopefully it goes our way there. So.
Yeah. Someone told me you got another phone call. What was that about?
Yeah. I honestly believe that if I had not received that call, that maybe I would have been here to de-escalate things. So now she's even more on my crap list. I mean, when I think it can't get any worse, it does. And she is despicable and playing dirty and
there was a lot cut out.
Well,
Interesting.
glad you made it here. Might want to go check on Mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Best
Thank
of
you
luck
so
in
much.
Chicago.
Thank you.
I wonder if on the page.
And I'm back with the outlaw John Rocha. You are shaken right now.
Listen, Andreyko gave me everything I could possibly want in a match. I feared him like crazy. They call him the Android
19 singles matches. That's insane.
He knows so much about movies. And, the wheel
About to be 20.
In my opinion, it was tilted in his favor with a lot of categories. So the odds were stacked against me. I was a little nervous going through the whole game. And we went toe-to-toe all the way to the end. It's unfortunate the way it went down, but for once it's nice.
And then
to
you
be
throw
on
in the amount
the
of
right
teams
side of a
matches he's
decision.
had
And
too.
so, either way,
God.
I played my heart out. I got nothing to be ashamed about. I knew the answer either way, and I move on, and that's how it goes. But I feel for Mark.
By the end
I
of
know
this
that
year,
anger.
Rocha
I've
will
been
have played
in that
in
place.
more
So
matches
I
Are
know.
not a
years
stranger
he's
to
been alive.
controversy
No.
here. How do you move on from something like that if you're Marc Andreyko,
Yeah, I don't know.
From personal experience.
And
Yeah,
that is
exactly.
that
I think
is
you take
definitely a
time,
record
step
to
back,
set
see if you
because
really
that guy
want
is
to keep
old.
continuing, and then focus on up. And because there's other competitors
I mean,
to go
I
take
don't know
down, there's
how
other
he'll find a way to
roads
play
walk
400
down.
matches
Look,
in a
my
year,
boy
but I
Dan
think
bounced
he'll
back
find
from
a
loss to Andrew
way.
Guy and is wearing the title again. So just because you
Hey, if
fall
I can
down or
play
have
400
things go
matches
against
in
you
a
doesn't mean you
month,
can't
he
get
can
back
play
up and
400
climb back up the
matches in a
ladder.
year.
Absolutely. And speaking
This
of
is
the guy
true.
next to you wearing the title, you two obviously will now be facing off. Well, you will be facing off with Bibbs
Yeah.
and with Ethan.
Yeah.
Two-face Dan.
Yeah, it's a
There's
daunting
just a lot
task.
of questions right now. Obviously,
Well, ask away,
you know?
Jen.
Who are you fearing most going into that three-way match? And then what's that going to do to the chemistry, obviously, with the Founding Fathers, should you face Dan?
Well, I think, it's ironic having Dan next to me. Last triple threat match I was in was against Mark Riley and this man right here, Dan Merle. And I ended up coming out on the losing end even after dispatching. We dispatched
Only second
Riley.
place, though.
I still came out on the losing end.
It was
thanks to Dan.
close.
Back to the future question. But, in the end, what it is about keeping your
God
mental
damn it, shut the
stability through the
fuck
whole
up.
game, believing in yourself and fighting through it. These are 2 incredibly knowledgeable guys. Dan, you faced Ethan at that live event in New York. I faced Bibiani and took the title off him. So 3 of the most recent title winners going at it. There's no way I can pick a favorite or which one I'm more afraid of. They all have their strengths and they all have their weaknesses. It's going to be a hell of a battle.
They do have
At
their
the end of the
weaknesses,
day,
though.
I want it, and I hope that's enough to carry
Like
me
John
through
Carpenter in
out
the
of
title
that
match.
battle and on to face Dan.
Absolutely. I just hope our studio can hold up.
And
during it, 'cause
taglines.
It's going to be one of those matches that I feel like is going to tear
And
the house down.
taglines,
Yeah.
indeed.
So-
Yeah, whoever came
I
up
look
with
forward to that fight.
taglines,
I look forward
fuck
to
you.
facing off whoever comes
It's like the
against
worst
it. I know
category
there's
you
gonna
could
be a lot of talk
possibly
about
have.
today's match. I hate when matches end in controversy like that.
Don't we all?
It's bad for the winner. It's bad for the person that doesn't come out on the other side.
Let's be honest.
It's bad for the league, and I think what it comes back to is, the ruling. They were already in a no-win scenario. Either John was going to be extremely upset by it, or Mark was going to be extremely upset by it. I think what we got to look at as a league is make sure that we do everything we can to not get in that kind of position again,
and to keep some kind of consistency going.
I agree. Consistency. If it's going back to the rules and going through every possible scenario, I know that seems like it's impossible to do, but I think it's also going through the questions. I think a word like "true" being in that question, that's a little subjective. That's a bit hazy. It's a bit fuzzy. And when you leave that wiggle room in there, I think you have room for what happened here today. When I played Andreyko, there was a question that I had to challenge because it was just flat out inaccurate. I think that there's a great team that runs Schmoedown. There's a lot of people that put a lot of time and effort into putting these matches together. I think that we just have to.
Jeremy Adams is now part of that team.
Fine-tooth comb.
What if he wrote that question?
Everything we can to make sure that we don't get in another situation like this, because there's John may have won the game, but it's really a no-win scenario in a lot of ways because there's always going to be that cloud over it.
It's just a what if.
Be those questions and anger, and nobody wants that. Nobody
Absolutely.
Wants that.
So much talent, so much wisdom up here with me. Congratulations again, John.
Thank you.
Good luck in that three-way match, man. It's going to be intense, and I personally can't wait to watch.
Me too. Thanks.
Bibbs likes three-ways.
Speaking of no-win scenario, that match for me.
Hello, innuendo.
Goodbye, everybody. I'm out.
Question, and I understand. It's like, look, we know what the writer was trying to get at there with the technical version there too. John Rocco had both answers, so that we're confident in the decision that we made in the desk here. But it was a match. It was a good match. It was straight to the wire. They both fought really hard, and John Rocco sees himself with a win. And you see in that interview where Dan and John had the conversation, he's encouraging him there, and then John's getting heated up because now he gets to face, once again, a guy that he beat for the title and the guy that beat him for that title, Ethan Irwin and Bibiani.
A lot of stuff. It is a competitive sport. It gets a lot of the competitors, just their juices flowing, good and bad, and that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But that's what we got. We got a big three-way dance coming.
All right, so, and now we ask you guys to let you know, April 13th, you just saw him. Well, he is going. It's the odd couple, Jeff Snyder and Marc Andreyko, heading to Chicago to play Who's the Boss in a #1
Can I come?
match. That's right, for the #1 contender match. The
I
winners
can't.
of that will play the Shire Wolves for the championship. So, guys, right now,
watch the Who Cares Anyway podcast tonight. David B. and Thrawn will be our special guests.
Is doing a great job managing all
That
the writers
podcast
over
already
there.
went
Great
up.
time with all the articles that go up every
Go
single
watch it
day.
anyway.
And check out Patreon, patreon.com/Schmoedown. Go get our shows on audio.
They're plugging, not us.
Thing.
It plugs at the end of our video, not their video.
Check out Inside Schmoedown every Monday on this very channel. And for me, Christian Harloff, I am the chairman. We'll see you next time.
Woo!
And okay.
Oh,
Scene.
itchy, pasta.
Let me say, I am so happy you decided to come and join us in our righteous cause.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys got it.
So, look, here's the thing. I hear talk that you have a new partner, and I just gotta know, who is it?
Yeah. I can't tell you though.
What?
I can't reveal it yet.
Come on, I'm your stablemate. No, we're family now, which means I'm entitled to know the information you know.
Yes, Dominic Toretto.
I mean, I'll give you this though. This guy, he's super serious about winning. All right, me and Grace worked really hard to make this happen, and you guys are gonna be happy with it. You're gonna be thrilled.
Okay, look, you don't gotta tell the fan. You gotta tell the whole league. Just tell me. Just me. Just a taste.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna tell you. You can't tell anybody though. All right.
Okay.
If she legit told him, I'm messaging Chance as soon as we're done.
Same.
You jealous fucks. Wait, there's just black screen at the end of this video? Okay, well, there's just black screen at the end of this video. That was a little anticlimactic. Dare I say, that was very anticlimactic.
Sadly,
and that's very unfortunate.
Well, there was a climactic ending. We just weren't allowed to see it.
No, but despite that, it's just that the fact that, like, the moment that Andreyko challenged the question and the challenge was, like, okay.
Upheld.
That really threw Andreyko off his game, didn't even bother to answer the 5-pointer, and that just gave the game to Rocha, which was unfortunate because up until that point, it was a fucking phenomenal match, really. 7-8 in the first round, 12-14 in the second round, just shows how great these competitors are. They can score points, they can answer questions, they're great, and the fact that it ended like that, I was very underwhelmed. I hate that it's like that.
I'm actually completely with you on that one. Like, and to be fair, I'm not one to trash Andreyko for feeling that way, because that's happened to me. That's happened. Yeah, that's happened to all of us.
It's happened to me. It's happened to me. I've had the same. Like in the fan leagues, there are like when you play these trivia games, and there are these questions that you're like semantics. This happens. And it sucks, but it happens. And you always want to avoid that.
Yeah, and, I do think that, Christian and Ken and Sam and all them, they made the right call. It sucks that it had to come at Andreyko's expense. And granted, did he have a right to feel as he did? Yes, absolutely. I'd be frustrated in that same exact situation. But I just wish that maybe we could have been allowed to see some of that frustration in the post match. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you see that interview, it starts instantly with Jen and Roxy talking, and Andreyko is not there. So you know for a fact that stuff is cut out. And I was already looking at the video because the video was 42 minutes long, especially for a match that is this caliber and this good. You're like, wait, why is it that short? Because honestly, that's short for this type of match. So I was looking at the questions being asked through round 3, and I'm like, there's not a lot of time left for them to do the just the post-match interviews, the outros, and everything. So I was really wondering, like, why is it so short? And now you see it is so short because of that post-match interview, and I'm just a little disappointed. I can't say I'm a little disappointed. I'm quite disappointed that it happened the way it did, because honestly, up until the controversy, I was really enjoying this match, thinking, oh my god, this is great. I can't wait to see where it goes. But yeah, Nico, what are your thoughts?
I've been watching fights for 14 years, so I've seen a whole bunch of stuff in my lifetime. I've seen refs stop fights too early. I've seen refs stop fights too late. I've seen people who looked like they were unconscious from a chokehold, but really they were just relaxing and the ref pulled them off and the guy never tapped, and so there's controversy there. I've seen every sort of controversy there is in a one-on-one sport environment. And I'm with Chris in that the judges, the refs, they made the right call.
Yeah,
they made the right call, and it's at that point. It's at that point that Andreyko has to have the wherewithal to realize, okay, the challenge did not go my way. You have to consider the possibility of that challenge not going your way, because the moment John said the actual second correct answer without being prompted to, that's when I realized they were going to give the point to him, because he knows both answers, so therefore he has a counter challenge. So it's up to Mark to realize I still have 3 repeats left, and we're at the 5-pointer. I'm going to use at least 2 of those repeats to calm myself down so I can focus on the answer at hand. He did not do that. He was so frustrated he did not bother to use the aspects of the game that would have allowed him to recover to his advantage, and that's on him. That's on him. That's why I hype so much that it's not just knowledge of movies that counts in the Schmoedown. It's the knowledge of how to play the game. And Mark, he let his emotions get the better of him. When I think we all thought that even though I was rooting for Rocha, there was a possibility that Rocha was going to be the one who got hot-headed more.
Well, that's the thing. That's what usually happens with Rocha. He gets inside his head.
Define irony that that they're, and what was their pre-match interview all about? The pre-match interview was all about how, Mark said over and over again, Rocha likes to get in his head. Rocha gets overly emotional. He's smart, but he's overly emotional. And even Rocha said, I'm damn good, but I get overly emotional. And this time that wasn't what happened. So, and again, guys, for clarification's sake, I'm not saying this to call Mark a hypocrite.
No, not at all.
Because, again, we understand completely, you know, and but it comes across in the final product as not as strong when you have to cut out what must have been probably about 10 minutes of footage, if not more, where we could have gotten a little bit more insight. We could have gotten a little more behind the scenes of everything that happened with this match. And it's just, as Kay said, it is disappointing, and for me, a little bit frustrating because, as someone who has seen how the sausage is made, I want the audience, I want the masses to see what I have seen.
Yeah, and it's also like, wait, I had a thing.
Actually, let me counter that real quick, because who knows what Mark said? And granted, we don't know because they cut that out. But obviously, they had to have cut that out for a good reason. For who knows who he went off on? He might have we rarely see Marc Andreyko angry, and it's probably for the best, because who knows who he lays out on when he gets angry. So it was probably for the best that we didn't see him at his most vulnerable.
Probably. It's just I totally get it, because I've been in
we've all been there. We've all been there.
Like, that's the thing. No, I've been in
I hosted one of those matches you got really badly screwed in, so
this is true. No, but I've been in 2 title matches, actually. I have been in number 1 contender matches. I have been in the type of matches that are really important, where you know what's at stake, you know that the competitor you're facing is really damn good, and you know that you need to pull out everything to make sure that you can beat that competitor. And if you can't, because of a question that you think is not worded right, yeah, you get angry. I completely understand that. So I understand Andreyko's viewpoint, but I also understand the viewpoint of the judges, where they gave it to Rocha, because he did at first say the right answer, because Rocha was also thinking oh, it's one of 2, but I think that they're looking for this answer, and if they actually want the other answer, he gave it as well. So I'm like, that's fair game. So you can't blame it on anyone. It's just at that point, Andreyko got really frustrated with what happened, simply because, the question was worded poorly, and they tried to avoid that. I know the process of question writing. I've also been in firsthand experience of that, where it's you go through testing, and you try to do everything to make sure that the question is airtight. And sometimes it might happen that it slips up, and it's what happened here. So because of that, it's an unfortunate situation, and I'm just a little disappointed. On the other hand, let's try to focus on the positive for a second, because this tangent went on way too long. Rocha versus Bibbs versus Irwin. Oh my fucking god! I can't believe that we're getting this match. It is going to be amazing. Remember the last time that we had a 3? Oh no, okay. I'll go back to the last time that we had a 3-way in singles, and it was really, really great. I think this can be even better, because I think that this time all 3 competitors will give their all. Will show up, will score points, will make it tough on each other, because Irwin, Bibbs, and Rocha are 3 of the best singles competitors in this league. We know that. Not just singles competitors period. So to see them compete, Chris, who ya got?
Okay. So my head is playing statistics in my head, and while I feel like 4 out of 5 times this competitor probably wouldn't win, but god damn it, my heart is winning out, so I'm going with the one time of Horseman!
I once again apologize for people's eardrums.
No shame. I actually do have the Outlaw? Because granted, is there a strong possibility he'll crap the bed in the actual title match against Dan? Yes.
Unfortunately.
But as 2018 especially showed us, what's one thing that John really knows how to do well? He knows how to get to a title match. Because what was that Murderer's Row from last year again? Let's just rewind the clock.
That Rocha went through?
Yeah.
JTE?
Yep, JTE.
But that wasn't the best
Bateman.
But that wasn't JTE's best match, to be fair. But then he
that
had
was JTE, Bateman,
Bateman at his best. Guy not at his best.
Sure. But
then Guy, look, as much as I love the guy, he's a little bit overrated in terms of what he's done because he's really pulled just the upset at the right moment. But the 2 wins he has are a little bit too crazy to say he's one of the best competitors.
No.
So,
but I'm also saying, but given Bateman and Guy's performance as in teams as well, like they're still good competitors. So and they're very well liked competitors. So I'm just saying, and they've also been known to put up really good fights when needed. Well, usually. Minus top 10 action 2. It's spectacular 2, but let's say about that the better, right, Case? Anyway, like Rocha knows how to get to a title match. 2016, he did the same thing. Harloff, Riley,
not Ellis though.
Well, not Ellis, because then after he lost, he fought Riley again, got the belt from Dan after that. So that's the one thing Rocha knows how to do really well. Irwin, yes, he's a juggernaut of trivia, but as we have seen, he has gaps. And he doesn't necessarily have the best strategy of actually playing the game. Well, now, sure, Bibbs has better strategy, arguably, than both Rocha and Bibiani. But that's that round 3.
Bibbs has better strategy than Bibiani and Rocha. Wait, what did you say?
God damn it. Irwin and Rocha. You know what I meant.
Yes.
Bibbs has better strategy than the other 2 players. So, but I have to say Rocha. I have to.
All right. Nico, are you sticking with your Horseman, or are you going with another competitor in this triple threat?
Ethan Irwin. I feel like the hype is justified. I mean, he beat the champ in a 3-rounder. He fell short of beating Dan a second time in a 5-rounder just because of a Simpsons tagline question. On his worst day, Ethan Irwin beats a lot of the greats. And I feel like having lost the title and having Jay Washington in his corner, keeping him motivated, having Janine in his corner now, keeping him motivated, I feel like he's figured out what he needed to work on, and he's probably corrected those flaws. And it's hard to bet against Ethan Irwin.
Fair point. Okay, so we have a vote for Rocha and a vote for Ethan. I'll be impartial. I'll just say I am expecting one of the greatest singles matches of all time because I know that...
Pick a damn side, you wimp. Don't be Switzerland. Pick a damn side.
I know that these 3 competitors, all 3 of them, will give their all. They might all get a perfect round. They might all get a good category that will get them points in round 2. And they might all hit their 3-round questions. And we might get to a fucking sudden death. And I don't mind, because that is going to be the best fucking thing ever, simply because you have the best competitors. Honestly, in the singles league right there at this point. So I cannot wait to see how this unfolds. If I have to pick a side, I do think I have to side with Nico, with Irwin, because Irwin, he has been the champ the most recent out of them, because Rocha beat Bibbs and Irwin beat Rocha, and it just shows, I think, that Irwin is probably the most knowledgeable and has also now mastered the game out of them. So based off of that, I think he probably is the best.
Not only that, but Irwin is the least easily rattled.
Yes.
We've seen Bibbs and Rocha get rattled before, and Irwin is cool as a cucumber through every match.
No, that's very true. So, based off of that, I do think you have a point with Irwin, but whatever happens, I just know I will enjoy this match intensely, and I cannot wait for whoever wins to face Dan Murrell then. Because, oh my God, it's going to be great. And Season 6 has been great. So, yeah, I'm very excited to see where this goes. With that said, guys, this is the end of this video. We've rambled and went on tangents long enough right now. So let's just go to the plugs. Chris, where can people find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Stardust, and Letterboxd at Skywalker Dome. And you guys can follow this very channel on Twitter and Instagram at D2A Channel. Please like our Facebook page and stay tuned for our upcoming. Well, actually, no, yeah, it'll still be technically upcoming because that's when I'll upload this right before we go live tonight on the Who Cares Anime podcast, where we are hosting David B. and Thrawn 2K5 from Collider Live, which is going to be a really fun time. And stay tuned for more Schmoedown reactions, as well as our upcoming Game of Thrones recap for Season 8. Woo!
Indeed. Nico, where can people find you?
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, at Nico Suave Regoli. That's NICOSUAVEREGOLI. Right here on Dedicated to Art and all the places. Chris just said, in case we'll say, Combat Wrestling Trivia is the name of the Facebook group. Combat Wrestling Network is the name of the YouTube channel. At Combat Wrestling, the number 2. There's no letter G. That's the poorly made Twitter account. But if you like wrestling and if you like wrestling trivia, find us on those places and we'll get you a match in either the heavyweight or middleweight divisions. And finally, Multiplex Entertainment. That's the name of the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. The Twitter is at MultiplexYT. The Instagram is Multiplex Entertainment Network. The T-Book is just Multiplex. Buy our awesome shirts. Zaddy Smith and I host a weekly Inner Geekdom / Arrowverse discussion show called Crisis on Earthplex every Wednesday, starting between 9 and 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So watch that. And also, I might have a new project lined up, which I can't plug yet, but in a couple months, you'll hear about it.
Interesting. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, guys, please like the video, comment on anything that you saw in this video, why we're wrong about our predictions, why we're right, or anything else, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, of course. You can find me, actually, on Letterboxd and Facebook. Simply Kees Cornelissen, my name, if you figure out how to spell that, because, you know, it's still a Dutch name. It might be difficult, but you should have figured that out by now. At Dutch Movie Guy on Twitter. And I think that's about it. Oh, no, wait. I competed on Multiplex in matches. Whatever kind of matches. I have a couple coming up. So check that out. Multiplex, as Nico said. With that said, guys, we'll just see you either for our live show or our next Schmoedown reaction. We'll see.
Free for all! Free for all!
Somewhere next week. Take care.
Yeah! Pew!
Oh!